Okay. I've had enough of this bullshit. I've had quite the hell enough. Let me fix this for one quick second. I'm having tape over an HD camera. Then eventually it starts to blur. Okay. Simply put, every social justice warrior needs to shut up about The Last Jedi being good. It is not. Because something lines up with your politics does not make it good. And The Last Jedi has been bombing. The writing is not actually that good. That line about not getting rid of what you hate, not destroying what you hate, but saving what you love, is going to go down in the history of Star Wars as being just as infamous, if not more so, than the bloody sand line from Episode 2! Oi! The majority of creative team are women. I don't care. I want good writing. And the director, not that good. Marvel has this problem with injecting SJW stuff, as does other stuff tied to Disney. Okay? Heck, if you haven't been paying attention to the Captain Marvel comics, Carol Danvers is being drawn like she's going through transition to malehood, to becoming a man. Didn't notice that, did ya? What's the big deal? It's an agenda. And if you want to know my big deal with all these social justice warrior agendas, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. This is by no means progressive. This is old crap that, in a couple of cases, predates Moses. When you predate a man who came down from a mountain with tablets that held the basis of modern-day laws going back thousands of years, y'all are being silly. And beyond that, y'all are being insanely stupid. When the only thing older than your mannerisms is civilized society, and as far as the Sumerians were concerned, and not even then, really, when you start to go into stuff that is almost predating pre-recorded history, and yes, some of this is, y'all aren't progressive, y'all are regressive. Listen, y'all need to get a grip on that. Seriously. If you're thinking, well, how's it go? Okay, let me explain. When it comes to the transgender issue, or believing you're something else, that is old world beyond heck. Especially just to stick to transgender. Why? It goes back to a worship of a certain deity, again, predating Moses. Who's one of her aliases, or his, depending on the sucker's mood, who was Isis, whose followers worshipped the being for being able to turn the female to male and the male to female, whose followers would dress on one side female and on the other side of themselves male, no matter what their actual gender was. Again, this crap predates Moses. When you are going into that old of territory, y'all are being crazy. You can't call that progressive. That's going, what about without borders? You know we did that before. You know what it led to? Wars, constant insanity, no real resources, people living in tents if they're lucky. Mainly caves. Beyond that, humans are communal species. Just because something is a social construct does not mean it's bad, you freaking morons! Seriously! And to boot, Mark Hamill If you haven't seen the compilation videos on YouTube of him promptly saying, without actually saying it in some cases, that he doesn't like his, The Last Jedi or the trilogy in general, yeah. If you're thinking, well, it's not like they're shitting on everything, they basically killed off Han Solo in the first movie while promptly denigrating away his character in that movie. Real life Carrie Fisher is dead, and she was not made what she was supposed to be. Anyone forget that line from episode 6? Because I guarantee you Razor Fist didn't. And Razor Fist remembered that Luke basically hinted that Leia would be the last Jedi. You freaking idiots! Oi. And the piece of resistance under that crazy is that she can still use the Force, but she's not a Jedi. If you're thinking, well, just let it die. No. Get rid of the past, kill it if you have to. Seriously? No. That line right there is agenda driven. How do I know? Because there's an older saying that basically slams it into the dirt. Those who forget about history are doomed to repeat it. Never forget! Even if you don't like the person's politics of whoever monument is, you put their sorry asses in a bloody museum, so you can properly tell people, don't be like them! You make mandatory trips for every school in the area to that museum. And then you want to play the identity politics, and it's basically against men in general. The men don't have any good ideas, even when their ideas are actually rational, and the women's so-called good ideas get people killed, and then wind up having them be expendable, which is extra stupid! Why? Because as a sane, rational, God-fearing human being, there is one thing I know beyond all else. When it comes to any life form that involves mammals, the one that bear the children in their bodies who conceive them are the species. Okay? That's why women have been put on a pedestal. That's why they weren't supposed to have to work if they didn't want to. They could just be in the kitchen whenever they want, just being barefoot if they wanted to, if that made them fulfilled. You didn't have to force them to fill out quotas in your workforce. You didn't have to make them go into work. You didn't have to convince them of that. Why? Because the men never wanted them to feel a moment's bit of stress if they could help it, because that's never good. Not for their health, not for their kids' well-being if they're out of the womb, not for the kids' health and survivability if it's in the womb. You really honestly think that this was just us men being dicks? Sure, there was the occasional idiot, but those were the idiots. Even then, and eventually, if they didn't die off, their kids usually wise the heck up and realize, wow, Dad's a moron, and I'm not going to be like him. Okay? A few morons doesn't mean all men are bad. Okay? A few rapists doesn't mean all men are rapists. Seriously. Oh, good Lord. And there's not just that crap. If we go back to The Last Jedi, there's the anti-capitalist bit with that casino planet where they build weapons for both sides. And of course, the preaching bit of, oh, let's raise the animals, but leave the kids in the cage. Really? The kids. The literal future of your society, you're going to leave them present. Because you douchebags. You really think that's a good idea? For crying out loud. I've had enough of this insanity. I have had quite enough. Because quite honestly, y'all need to get a clue. Y'all need to get a clue. Like I said, this is regressive. A lot of this crap predates. It's even some of this stuff predates Jerusalem and the nation of Israel from its ancient texts from before Babylon took it over, and Babylon is no more. You honestly think this is not going to bite you in your freaking asses? You honestly don't see it. Some of the older fans, I can already tell, I can already sense through the collective unconscious of humanity, are begging for Lucas to come back. You want to know how I know that's most likely going to happen? Because Donald Trump appointed someone to the FCC who is an antitrust master, who's already decided to turn his eyesight on Google. Next will come Facebook, then Twitter. Then he'll turn his butt to the entertainment industry and see the monopolies building there, some of which are tied in with internet industries, and he'll either have a choice of Disney or Comcast with NBC Universal attached. Question is, who's the bigger fish? And right now, Disney, you're it. Comcast maybe he is crawling everyone's neck. But believe it or not, your sorry butt, that is the point. He's in the flesh on everyone's leg. They're going to want to deal with that first. You honestly think that a craw, that something's stuck in our craw? Like Comcast, something that's basically like a big old piece of, say, ham or cheese or chicken stuck between the teeth of your craw. It's painful? No. You will ignore that the minute you realize something is eating away at your flesh's health in your leg and making it harder for you to stand, let alone walk. Look, your sorry asses first is deal with that, then you deal with your teeth when the pain from that is gone. And Disney, after Google, Facebook, and Twitter, you are the next target. This is your only warning. Cut the crap. To the rest of you SJWs, again, cut the crap. You have essentially guaranteed Generation Z at this point is going to rebel against you hard. And I don't just mean Generation Z, even in that. The one after them, your little 8 and 9-year-olds, are eventually, when they grow up and get some sense in them, even in their teenage years, are going to immediately realize you're full of shit and that you have no freaking idea what you're doing. You honestly think that this is not going to come back and bite you in the hind parts? Guess again. See y'all next time, because goodness knows, I think I'm going to be turning this into Rant Central. Well, for me at this point.